Ever wondered why your brakes make those unpleasant squeaking or grinding noises? Today, we're going to dive into that mystery. This video will help you understand the causes of brake noises by explaining the fundamental components of the brake system: the disc, the pads, and the piston. The disc is attached to the wheel hub and rotates with it. The pads flank the disc and are pressed down by the piston during braking, creating resistance to movement. But did you know there are at least 8 other parts in a single disc system that can make your brakes squeak, whistle, or squeal? It's true. And we're going to explore 5 main reasons why your brakes might be putting on a noisy concert. Now that we understand the basic elements of the brake system, let's delve into why they might start making those irritating noises. Firstly, the squeaking could simply be a sign of new brake pads. You see, these pads come out of the factory with a protective layer of impurities. This layer can cause some whistling and squeaking sounds until it wears off completely. Now you might be thinking, how can I speed up the process? Well, the answer lies in a bit of high-speed action. You need to perform several emergency braking maneuvers. This means developing a speed of at least 100 kilometers per hour and then stopping abruptly. But remember, safety is paramount. Always ensure you're in a safe, open space when you do this. Eventually, the protective layer will wear off, and the squeaking should stop. So if it's just new pads, there's no need to rush to the service center. The noise should disappear on its own. A bit of patience is all it takes. Another possible source of that squeak: natural vibrations. When the pads make contact with the brake disc, bringing it to a halt, they vibrate. This vibration is a normal part of the process. However, due to the acoustics created by the wheel arches, this faint vibration can transform into a distinct squeaking noise that's hard to ignore. It's like the wheel arches are the amphitheater to your brake pad's solo performance. But don't fret. This is a sound that even a perfectly functioning brake system can make from time to time. To mitigate this, some manufacturers equip their pads with special attachments that dampen these resonances. Another solution could be the inclusion of 1 or 2 slits on the working surface of the part. This reduces the area in contact with the disc, thus lessening the resonance. Remember, this cause of squeaking is no reason for alarm or a sudden visit to your mechanic. The third reason your brakes might be making noise: incompatibility between the materials of your brake pads and discs. Now you might be thinking, how can these materials be incompatible? Aren't they designed to work together? Well, in an ideal world, yes. But let's dive a little deeper. You see, while the same basic materials are used for the production of brake pads and discs, different manufacturers have their own secret recipes. They select the ratios of these materials independently. Just like a chef can create a multitude of dishes using the same ingredients, so too can manufacturers create a myriad of brake pad and disc combinations. These combinations usually work in harmony, but sometimes the material of the friction layer on the brake pads can conflict with the cast iron of the discs during braking. Imagine trying to rub 2 incompatible materials together. It's not going to be a smooth operation, right? The result? That squeaking noise that's been driving you up the wall. Now there's another scenario where even long-established pads can start to squeak. This happens when their physical properties change after heating and sharp cooling. Imagine this. You've been on the road for a while, the brakes are getting hot, and then suddenly, your wheel plunges into a deep puddle. Or maybe you've been waiting in line at the car wash on a hot day. The sudden change in temperature can alter the properties of the brake pads, leading to that unpleasant squeaking sound. While this malfunction doesn't pose an immediate threat, it can be quite annoying. And unfortunately, the only way to eliminate this cause of squeaking is by visiting a car service center. There, a skilled mechanic can replace the pads with ones that are more compatible with your discs. So remember, while brake pads and discs are designed to work together, sometimes the materials just don't get along. But with a little intervention, you can get your brakes working harmoniously again and banish that pesky squeaking sound for good. Our exploration of brake noises continues with 2 more potential causes: overheating of the brake disc and lack of lubrication in the braking system. First, let's talk about overheating. Constant physical stress paired with high temperatures can affect the geometry of your brake disc. Think of it this way. Just like a clay pot can warp and crack under the heat of a kiln, Your brake disc can lose its original calibrated shape under the stress and heat of repeated braking. When this happens, the deformed disc can come into contact with other elements of the braking system, leading to a whistling or even grinding noise. If you're hearing these noises, it's time for an urgent visit to the service center. The solution here is to replace the brake disc. Next up, let's discuss lubrication. Your brake system isn't just made up of brake pads and discs. It also includes numerous mechanical units that require lubrication to function optimally. If these parts aren't well lubricated, you might start to hear squeaking and whistling sounds. Not just during braking, but also when you're simply driving around. While these noises might not immediately affect the functionality of the braking system, they can reduce the lifespan of its components. The remedy for this issue can be as simple as treating the parts with special technical oil. Of course, if you're not comfortable doing this yourself, a trip to the service center is always a good idea. So, remember, your brakes are more than just pads and discs. Their performance can be affected by everything from temperature to lubrication. Understanding these factors can help you diagnose and fix any issues quickly, ensuring a smooth and safe ride. All right, we've tackled the issue of squeaking. Now let's delve into the main causes of brake squeaking. There are several factors that can cause your brakes to produce this distinctive sound. 1. Worn pads or discs. Modern pads are equipped with special wear indicators made of metal alloys. When the friction layer of the part wears out, the pad contacts the disc with this plate, causing a grinding sound. This sound is a clear signal that it's time to replace the parts at a service center urgently. 2. Dirt, water, or stone has gotten into the system. Due to the design of the braking system, small debris like stones or sand can get lodged between the pads and the disc or drum. During braking, these elements come into contact with the friction layer and the cast iron surface, causing a scraping sound or even grinding. 3. Jammed caliper or cylinder. The moving parts of the system can start to jam due to insufficient lubrication or, in the worst-case scenario, deformation. This causes the mechanism to wear unevenly, and the first signal of such a malfunction is unevenly worn paired pads. 4. Low-quality pads. Sometimes there are impurities in the composition of the parts, which can spoil the disc as the friction layer wears down. This situation is dangerous not only because of the grinding noise, but also because of increased wear of the mechanism. 5. The geometry of the dust shield is violated. Just like the brake disc, the metal dust shield can overheat and deform. It can also be damaged by impact or unprofessional repairs. If its edges are concave inward, they will contact the disc, creating a grinding sound when driving. Understanding these causes can help you diagnose and fix any issues quickly, ensuring a smooth and safe ride. Stay tuned as we summarize everything we've learned today about brake noises. Let's summarize what we've covered today about brake noises. The unique symphony of sounds your brakes make can tell you a lot about their condition. We kicked things off by discussing how new brake pads can be the culprits behind that distressing squeak. When fresh out of the factory, these pads come with a protective layer of impurities, which can cause a high-pitched whistle or squeak until it wears off. While it might be a bit annoying, it's not a cause for alarm. A few abrupt stops from high speeds can help wear it off quicker, but remember to always prioritize safety when doing so. Next, we delved into the natural vibrations that occur when the pads press against the brake disc. This is a normal part of the braking process and can result in a slight squeak. Some manufacturers even add special pads that dampen this resonance or cut slits into the pads to reduce the contact area with the disc. Again, while this might cause a bit of noise, it's generally no reason to worry. Lastly, we explored how the incompatibility of pad and disc materials can cause a cacophony of sounds. Different manufacturers use different ratios of materials in their brake pads and discs. Sometimes these materials conflict during braking, or the physical properties of the pads can change after heating and sharp cooling. While this can cause an unpleasant noise, it can only be eradicated by replacing the pads. What's crucial to remember is that not all brake noises require immediate professional intervention. Some are just part of the natural operation of your brakes, while others can be signs of an issue that needs addressing. By understanding the causes behind these noises, you can help diagnose potential issues and save yourself unnecessary trips to the mechanic. Stay tuned to Auto Advisor for more advice on maintaining your vehicle. We're here to help you become more informed and confident about your car's needs. Until next time, drive safe and keep your ears open to the language of your brakes.